So yeah, TKG Drawanda, if you're watching this, you need to stop calling us little kids right now, because calling people little kids is not even nice. No, we're fully TKG Drawanda. If you are watching this, you need to leave me, Dan Sobel, and Cameron, aka Shoutout 14.0, alone. We're fully grown adults here. You know, I'm gonna be 21 this month on the 15th of August, and you need to leave me, Dan Sobel, Cameron alone.
This is the story of Ben Lucero, a man who became famous, or I guess I should say infamous, not necessarily for any sort of talents, but for his explosive rants, incredibly bizarre behavior, from Chuck E. Cheese to angry YouTube tirades. Buckle up, this is the digital spiral of Ben the Mall Screamer. Now, most of you might be saying, how do you find these people, Swampy D? Where are these people popping up in your timeline? Well, this guy is somewhat in the world of the Sobelverse, so him and Dan Sobel do have an alliance for some time. As always, lolcows will be lolcows and turn on each other. So let's jump into a little bit about who Ben Lucero is so we can better understand this whole thing. Now, Ben is 23 years old. He's from Albuquerque, New Mexico, diagnosed with autism. He also participates in a program called Best Buddies, which helps those with, disabilities build friendships and find jobs. Ben, from what I understand, works at a Chuck E. Cheese and enjoys singing karaoke, passionately, if you will.
Oh, I can't get enough. I'm hot, sticky, sweet, from my head to my feet. Yeah!
As discussed earlier, Ben is 23 years old, but has the interest of many children. You can find his YouTube channel, which is packed full of clips from kids shows, all across the board. He seems to have a particular obsession with the preschool cartoon Bluey, and he apparently gets very excited when Bluey comes on TV. As I was doing some research for this, I was actually able to come up with a clip of him going to see Bluey live, and he, gets incredibly hyped.
We salute you, Bluey! We gotta beat the curfew! Good night, everybody! That was a great show!
Now I can already see the comments flooding in from all the great folk here in the swamp. Uncle Swampy D, why are we covering this guy? He's clearly mentally ill. And while that is definitely the case, this is the Internet Degenerate Story series, and unfortunately a lot of internet degenerates definitely have mental illnesses or disabilities. But with that said, it's not necessarily any of this stuff that we're going to be focusing on, or really even giving any critical analysis on. What we're actually going to be looking at is some of the stuff that you're going to see next. These very numerous death threats, the raging, the racism, and the absolutely abhorrent reactions and actions that he does. Now, he's definitely not as bad as Dan Sobel or many of the other lolcows, but this is definitely a great cautionary tale as to why people like this should probably have a bit more supervision.
Stop making videos about my friend Brandon Horninger. This is an entertainment for all of you guys watching. Stop it, Jared! Leave me alone! I'm not talking shit about you, Jared. I'm not. Don't snitch it onto Brandon. Content cringe and Mr. Jolo K2. I have something to say to you. How could you think most of my friends are bad users like Disney Jack 95 and Dan Sobel? You know, they're my friends and one of my subscribers on YouTube. You need to leave them alone right now. I am getting so sick and tired of you guys bullying them 24/7. If you guys don't stop, I will be putting you guys on the block card. So, yeah.
Now, in a sense, it's admirable and maybe even commendable to see somebody sticking up for their friends. But unfortunately, Ben Lucero is friends with a lot of bad people. Bad users, as they call them. YouTube's physical media community, as we have been slowly but surely immersing ourselves into with the Dan Sobel thing and now this Ben Lucero thing, is definitely full of a bunch of degenerates. Some of them harmless, some of them innocent, some of them less so. But most of the people Ben has brought up, from what I have seen, have had some pretty fair accusations levied against them. And we already know about the Dan Sobel thing, so if you're friends with Dan Sobel and defending them, yikes.
Hiya! 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 Now that's what you get for making bad videos out of me, calling me a mama's boy, and especially roasting me on Google Meet, StreamYard, and Messenger, and YouTube. Now get out, you trolls.
Now, while it is fairly common for Ben to go on rants and raves online, like most lolcows, he tends to get a little racy, and he's just like Cyrax in the sense that he can't not say the F-bomb or cuss every other word. And unfortunately, he gets yelled at and grounded by his parents for doing so. They even catch him saying the N-word a couple of times. Maybe if I could find those clips, they'll be up next.
What?
You don't need to be cussing in this house.
Why
What is
can't...
wrong with you?
Mom, I just can't help
Open
it.
the window.
I'm sorry. Mom, it's just, I was just talking.
You don't cuss at people. What's wrong?
I'm not cussing at people.
You don't say bad words at all.
No, it's just, I just don't need anything. It's just,
Then I'm not the door.
okay, don't hit me.
Ben is the mall screamer. That who attacked Savage Gamer 1998 in one of his streams.
You know what? That's it. I can't take this anymore.
I actually exposed him!
Now, Ben Lucero does a lot of strange things online. He's incredibly unaware of himself, definitely doesn't get social cues, and doesn't understand how certain things are gonna be picked up by other people around him. As you can see, he does have a video where he says happy birthday to Jeffrey Epstein after his passing, or Epstein as he says, and even though he's reading out that this guy's clearly a predator on multiple levels, he still says happy birthday and RIP. It's kind of strange. Kind of just goes right to that point of him not being very aware of himself. But one of the moments that he actually is aware of himself, as we're going to see here, is when he actually cuts ties with Dan Sobel.
You know what, guys? I have an announcement to make for today. I'm going to be cutting ties with Dan Sobel, so I'm done with him for good.
Similar to our buddy Dan Sobel, Ben Lucero has gotten into endless internet beef over his, things he likes, and that seems to be very common here in the physical media community. People do not like opinion bashing, or anybody who has a different opinion than them. It seems to really bother them. Ben is a little unique. He likes to make his own little call-out songs. Sure, he likes to do his angry message videos. Nothing seems to tickle his fancy like these call-out songs. Check it out.
Cameron Long doesn't like you. Hey, 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 hey. Cameron Long doesn't like you. Cameron Long is not your fan. Cameron Long doesn't like you. This has to be the greatest of our players.
Now, it only gets worse the deeper we look. The next couple of things I'm going to show you are some more of the deplorable and depraved things that Ben has done online. When I first started this video, I wasn't quite aware of how bad it got with Ben, but it became quickly clear that he's done a lot of the same things Dan Sobel and even Cyrax has done. Whipping out his willy online, dancing around naked on stream, and several very questionable comments. Before we move any forward, I'm not sure if I've done this yet, but shout out to The Perfect Citizen and Homer Simpson for providing a lot of these clips. I got a good amount of backstory from TPC as well, so definitely go show their channel some love. They upload awesome videos on the physical media community, and it's been very helpful for me to understand what the hell I'm even dissecting.
For making that anti-Ben Lucero group and all the other dumb ass things you have done to me and Brandon. Also, I have a surprise for you. Ready? If you keep it up, I'm going to show you my dick again. Do you guys want to know what this is? This is a knife. It is also a sword that can really stab you guys, just like in the movies. I am not his bitch! How about you shut the fuck up, Suzanne? Actually, just didn't mean to do that, Paul. Rob, you motherfucker. Guys! Guys! I'm gonna kick your guys! I'm gonna kick your I'm gonna fuck you up!
While most of those clips we watched are fairly bad by themselves, that last one is even more depraved because that's literally Ben's dad arguing with some guy online. It's very reminiscent of that Jessie Slaughter clip where her dad is talking about backtracing them and sending the FBI and the internet police and all that. It's very much the same wavelength. Sad to see, but also somewhat entertaining, to be honest. As we're seeing right now, you can see some various images of Ben getting on Google Meet's Hangouts without any pants on, which, you know, obviously didn't have to be a thing, but it was for whatever reason. You can also see another one here where he's allegedly on a call with an underage boy and is, for whatever reason, exposing his wing to him. And unfortunately, these things would be corroborated and substantiated by Ben himself, where he would apologize, and you can find that here.
Also remember that one time I also even showed my private part to.
Now, Ben would definitely have some sad things going on in his life. Obviously, he's dealing with some disabilities and whatnot, but his mother would be dealing with some pretty bad health issues. You see her pop up from time to time in these Google calls, mainly with her coming in to help Ben when he can't help himself by cutting off the Google calls and stuff like that. You get to see a couple glimpses of her, and she clearly doesn't look too healthy. She looks a little bit under the weather and very, very tired. So obviously, you can see why she was taking control of these situations. But unfortunately, Ben would go on to upload a video addressing his mother's passing. This would leave him and his family basically with nobody to look after them. And this is where things would probably just get worse from there.
Mom, I'm not making my friends cut. What are you doing? Mom, what are you doing?
They're done.
Mom, no. No, they don't want to talk to me. What are you doing?
Something I found while actually going on Ben's channel is, unfortunately, he seems to be back in the graces of Dan Sobel, aka Dan the My Little Pony and Sophia the First fan, and you can see him here. As we can see here, Ben made his return to live streaming after like 5 or 6 months. Interesting little break there. He's got a whole bunch of different people on here with him. Most of these people probably a part of that community we've been talking about, but unfortunately you see Dan pop up about an hour and 15 minutes into it, and it's very sad to see that they are still entertaining that guy.
You guys know the voice of Chucky?
Yeah.
He passed away.
Well, who's the voice of Chucky?
No, not the Rugrats, the Child's Play person who was in the Child's Play movies. He passed away at the age of 62.
Let me see. Which Child's Play movie are we talking about? The 2021 film? 2019 film?
You mean the 1988
Nope,
film,
the
Nick?
1988 film.
Okay, let me see. Let me take a look.
So I can give you some interesting stats here. This was streamed 5 days ago. It's got 108 views, 0 comments, 5 likes. I can't see the dislikes. I don't really care enough to look into it. But as you can see, it's very mundane, very boring, and, you know, if this was all these people were doing, they would never be in videos like this. But unfortunately, as we have seen, that is not the case, and a majority of the people in this community seem to have some severely interesting backstories to them. And, you know, we're only going to dive deeper into this whole physical media corner. And again, I want to shout out TPC because they have a great channel that covers this exact community, and they have been a big help in me trying to understand and make sense of all this. So definitely check them out. Link is in the description. Ben's story is still unfolding. There's more to cover, but I'll probably cut it off here. I don't know if I'll make a series on it. Probably won't. I might circle back in the future if there are some updates to let you all know about, but as of right now, I think the story of Ben is pretty obvious. Autistic man with not the greatest friends and not a whole lot of leadership to help him be a better person, and he's just kind of falling into these degenerate weirdo places online. And that seems to happen a lot. Thanks for supporting this series. Thanks for supporting the channel in general. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, leave your comments down below. I'd love to see your suggestions for other lolcows to cover, and I'll see you soon.